All right, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha HaKodash. The bonus unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love unto the brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And in this Thursday live here, I wanted to cover a few topics to the spirit. And I pray that it is edifying to you brothers and your sisters out there who may tune in or possibly come across this video. Okay. So this first clip here is about the coming economic collapse, the coming hell that's prepared for Babylon the Great, and eventually the whole world. Okay, because we know that the Most High judgment is going to be global. All right. But ultimately, the main judgment, right, the last judgment will be for America. Okay. This is the society that the Lord really wants to destroy. And so he's going to bring crazy, crazy plagues to Babylon the Great. All right. So without further ado, I just play a few minutes of this here, man. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 26 minutes long, so I'm not going to do that. This should be a very straight to the point, Thursday live. But I just pray that it's edifying, man. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this here. Make sure my audio is good. All right, here we go. So this is from Freen Veston here on YouTube. It says, most people have no idea what is coming. Ray Dalio's last warning. So let's get into this here, man.
I'm going to be super blunt to anybody watching right now. And Ray, if you think that I'm wrong, I trust that you will jump in. No one is coming to save anybody. And that's the hard truth. And if I look at history.
Right. I just want to start out with that statement there. Right. He says, oh, I'm sorry. Hello. Let me see.
I trust that you will jump in. No one is coming to save anybody. And that's the hard truth.
Right. No one is coming to save anybody. And that's the hard truth. That's going to be the reality for these people here in the world. Okay? No one is coming to save them. The Lord is not going to save 2/3 of his own people, man. All right? They will be left for judgment. They will experience the judgment. All right? Esau can't save 2/3 from the judgment of the Most High. I don't care how many C-hips they get. I don't care how much they bend the knee unto the beast system. It's not going to ease the judgment. The Most High is getting ready to do some damage to this world, man. Especially unto the wicked of our people. And of course, Esau and these heathens, man. But I'm focusing in on Jake because the wickedness of Jake is out of control. And so when all hell break loose and things truly, truly go left here in society, man, there will be no one to save you, Jake, from the judgment of Yahweh Shai. And we've been warning our people, giving them this word, telling them what thus said the Lord, and all they do is reject the word. All they have done is reject it. So when the gates of hell open up, so to speak, when the Most High starts to judge, that's going to be it. Matter of fact, that's in Proverbs. I grabbed that real quick. If you go to Proverbs chapter 1, it speaks about that. How that when calamity comes, then Jacob want to try to come to the truth, try to get the word. And it'll be too late then. It's going to be way too late then because the judgment going to be started. So, going here to Proverbs, right, getting to the point, it says, Proverbs 1:25, but you have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. Excuse me. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. And this is what that video is going to speak about, okay? Excuse me. Distress and anguish. That's what's being prepared. These people are under an illusion that this society is just going to continue as it has always been. And that's not the case. A lot of people are feeling inflation, all right, the prices of groceries, the prices of rent. A lot of people are going homeless, sleeping in their cars. A lot of people losing their jobs. It's serious, man. People still complaining about the egg prices. This is all you hear. But these are just small stepping stones unto the massive, massive judgments of the Most High. In the near future, it's going to really get bad, like bad, bad. And then the stress and anguish going to come up on the people. But the Lord said he's going to laugh at your calamity, man, at your downfall, right? It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So in that time of need and want, you're going to be praying, calling on God, calling on Jesus. Some of y'all going to call on Yahweh Shema Shai, right? Because you heard the name. But guess what? No one is coming to save you. It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So the Most High going to close that door of mercy and grace. It's going to be too late. Just like during the time of Noah, when Noah entered that ark, it says the Lord closed them in. And anybody who was outside of that ark, that was it, bro. Most High got them up out of there. So in our times, the Lord going to close that spiritual ark for the elect and seal them off from the judgment to come. And if you're outside of that spiritual ark, it's going to be hell to pay, right? It says, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. That's the problem. You hated the knowledge of the word, and you didn't choose the fear of the Most High. You thought it was a game or some joke to be played. Okay? You made light of this Israelite ministry. You thought we were crazy and the cults and all kind of things. Not knowing that this is your heritage. This is your way out of Babylon. And you despised it, man. It says, they were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. So you despised the Lord. And so now it's time to pay the piper, so to speak, right? So let's play it again.
I trust that you will jump in. No one is coming to save anybody. And that's the hard truth. And if I look at history, and even if I listen, which I have listened to literally every word said on the subject publicly anyway, that this is just going to suck. Like there is going to be a level of brutality that most of us have not experienced in our lives. Companies are going to go under. People are going to lose their jobs. There are going to be people that are going to struggle to find their next meal.
Right. A level of brutality like we never seen. Now, this guy don't know the scriptures, okay? He don't know about the prophecies, right? He's going solely off history and the economy, how things are looking. And he's given, foresight to how bad it's going to get. But the scriptures speaks about this. It called Jacob's trouble, which will be a very rough time, very uncomfortable time. in the world. Let's get the scripture. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, this is GNT Bible. It says, a terrible day is coming. No other day can compare with it. Meaning what a terrible time is coming. That's Jacob's trouble. It says, a time of distress for my people. See that? Now, it's going to be on these heathens as well, right? But guess what? The Most High, he going to get 2/3, man. He going to get they behind. But he's going to preserve the elect, it says, but they will survive. That's going to be the elect. Not all Jake is surviving this thing, man. Okay? A lot of Israelites is going to perish when the Most High brings forth that harsh judgment. That's what's being prepared, man. Harsh judgments. Okay? This is Jeremiah chapter 8. Excuse me, 2nd Ezra chapter 8. In the 50th verse, GNT Bible, it says, the people of this world who have lived their lives in pride and arrogance will suffer many things in the last days. So these proud, arrogant people, driven by social media likes and followers, very arrogant, stubborn, man. They're going to suffer many things in these last days. The Most High got a multitude of judgments that he's going to execute upon these people, man. And it's going to be brutal, as old boy said in the video. I agree 1,000%. It's going to be brutal, okay? Very harsh judgments, very harsh times. And in that day, we're definitely going to need Yahweh Shem Shai to provide and to protect, okay? Because if not, we'll get caught up in that harsh judgment, man. And you don't want that. None of us want that, okay? This is 2nd Ezra 15, right? Jumping down here because he spoke about the lack of food that's in the scriptures. This is 2nd Ezra 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. It's going to get to a point to where people just want to attack one another and be very violent and brutal. Sparing nobody, man. Attacking their neighbors, people they've been knowing for years and decades, that they have big relationships with. Their kids play together, barbecuing and all kinds of things, right? Their wives are best friends. But when there's no food and things get tough, palms get sweaty, decisions will have to be made, man. And as Yahweh Shai said, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So they're going to attack one another because of the lack of bread, man. It's going to be tight in that day. Okay, the squeeze is going to be on, right? So it's going to be hell, man. And the last precept here, if I continue with the video, 2nd Ezra 16:17, I'm doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? Troubles will come and many people will groan. Okay, troubles will come. Not might come, they're going to happen. Okay, and many people will groan, be in anguish, all right? Desperate, distressed, perplexed. It says famine will come and many will die. Okay, so the Most High going to bring a famine, bro. And that's hard to imagine in this society, man. Okay, that is hard to imagine. A famine, right? No food anywhere. Bro, the Most High going to do that. Nothing is impossible with the Most High, man. This is what the scriptures tell us. So a famine is going to come, and many people will perish, right? It says wars will come, and the world's power will tremble. Disasters will come, and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? Famine, epidemics, troubles, and sufferings are sent to punish and correct people. So the Most High is sending these things to punish and correct, right? He's going to speak to them through his wrath. And you don't want the Most High to do that, okay? But that's how this world going to get introduced to the Most High, man. It's through his harsh judgments, okay? So here we go.
The same things happen over and over again through time for basically the same reasons. A lot of these things happen once in a lifetime, and if you don't go back and see how they worked over time, then you're in trouble. So there's a pattern. I could describe the pattern, but there's a pattern that happens over and over again, and we're in a particular spot in the pattern. And then to understand it, not just because it happened before, but to understand mechanistically how it happens, and then one has a sense of how to deal with it. Just like in 1929 to 1932, there was a debt crisis that came as a result of an excessive amount of debt in the boom years. And then when you have that in 1932, we hit zero interest rates. And when they hit zero interest rates in 32, like in 2008, central bank prints money and buys financial assets. What happens in these cycles is that normally central banks can stimulate the economy by lowering interest rates. But when you hit zero interest rates, that doesn't work. So the last time it hit zero interest rates was 1932. And what they did in 1932 was the same thing they did in 2008. And that is that the central banks prints a lot of money and buys government bonds. And so we're doing that now.
And just to be clear, the reason that they're doing that is so somebody has bought a government bond. The government is basically saying, hey, you, dear person, lend me the money. I'm going to build something, roads, whatever, but I'm going to pay you back in a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, plus interest, I would assume. That makes it worthwhile. And the reason that the government is going in and buying those is to get back liquidity to the people that have loaned them that money?
Yes, because think of it this way. The central government, and also companies and individuals, don't have the capacity to create money. So the central government has the right to determine they can tax people, they can get money from people, and they can spend money on whatever they want to spend money on. But they don't have the right to print money and create money and credit like the central bank does. Central bank is the Federal Reserve. Similarly, the Federal Reserve does not have the right to spend money and determine how it's spent. That's for Congress. Every individual, every company, and every government has a certain amount of money that comes in the form of income, a certain amount of expenses, and then a certain amount of savings. So you do individually, and it works the same way for everyone, so that if their income falls to be less than their expenditures, they're in trouble unless they have a good savings. And then they go to the savings. So all around the world, there are lots of entities that are in trouble in that way. So the government, the two parts of the government, the US government, they have to give money. And so they print money. We call it print. There's not even paper much. It's digitally create money. And then that comes in the form of loans.
Okay, so basically they're digitally creating money, which they're allocating to the government, and then the government is deciding how to disperse those funds?
Yeah, the Federal Reserve will buy government bonds, so it's a transaction of buying it, and they will also buy private bonds. They might pick a company, many companies, and they'll say, I will buy your...
Okay, so this I'm telling this, man, for time's sake. But ultimately, in this video, bro, he's going into how, all this stuff is going to lead to another great, depression or even worse. Okay. That's in the Holy Scriptures. And I read the precepts to you, bro. You can go finish out this video if you want to. It's edifying, but for time's sake, bro, I'm not going to sit through all this. all right, it's going to get bad, okay? And we're already seeing it. But guess what? These elites, man, they're banking on things to go bad, right? They're banking on things to go left. And when it does, trust and believe, they're going to come forth with that you know what, okay? That's the whole thing about it, man. Life getting hard, you know, groceries and all this stuff, rent, that's by design. They want you begging and complaining for a new way, all right? So you can get done watching that video if you want to, all right? But these hard times, okay, it's going to cause people like this here to lose their you know what, their effing minds. Now, this is from Black Ram 313. Okay, I actually watched some of this today at work, you know, as I'm working, man. It says winter is here. The singleness epidemic. Kevin Samuels was right. So I'm gonna play this video here, man, and just show you the mindset of these people, right? These women, man. And this is what the dating world has to offer. Okay. This is what the dating world has to offer, man. It's bad, you know, but all of this arrogance, people, man, these proud women, you know, these crazy standards and demands, they're gonna fall victim to these hard times that's being prepared. And that pride and that arrogance is gonna cause them to be unalived, man. All right? They're gonna be unalived. A lot of women are gonna be unalived, bro, because of their pride and their arrogance. Trust and believe, you're gonna need a man in that day. You know you're gonna need one. Okay. Matter of fact, you need one right now. But society has given you women this false sense of security that you don't need no man, which in actuality, you do need a man. Okay. The government is your man, right? Your boss is your man. Okay. That's your man if you ain't got one in the house with you. But I don't know, just play this video, man. And this is one of the reasons why I am single. You know, I did say that I want to start back dating in June, but after watching this video, I might push it. I might push it back, man. I might push it back, bro. But here we go, man. All right, here we go. Prepare your mind.
A girl posted a video about how we are in a single epidemic, like an overwhelmingly large amount of people who are single. Yet everyone seems to be looking for love. And I'd like to add my 2 cents as to why I think that is. I think it's 3 main things. I think one, everything has to be social media approved now. It's not enough for you to find somebody that makes you happy. You also have to find someone that is going to put you in a relationship where you're able to brag about it all on social media. And that's not helpful. 2, the idea that there is going to be this perfect person who completely understands you upon meeting them, and you won't have to communicate the way that you want to be treated, and you won't have to have these tough conversations, and everything will just work out perfectly. That's not helpful. And then 3, which I think is like probably the most deadly and something that I myself am very guilty of, is that we have gotten so far into like encouraging everyone to be independent and be happy on their own, which is important. I say it all the time. It is very important. But I think that we're kind of in a point where we've overcorrected. Like, you keep seeing this rhetoric of like, oh, you don't owe people this, you don't owe people that, like, you don't have to put up with that. And I think that you guys are missing the fact that, like, when you are in a relationship with someone, even if it's not romantic, even in a friendship, there are going to be aspects of this relationship that are not necessarily pleasant all the time. And the solution can't always be, well, never mind, I'm just going to be single. I'm just going to be.
I don't think men like women anymore.
Right. So just, you know, going in what she was saying, man. Yeah, these women, they got crazy standards and the pride, the arrogance of them, being the prize and all of this crap, bro. This is why this single epidemic is happening. Okay, you see Eve here. This a pretty decent woman. Eve be fine, bro. Okay, you got to give it to her. Not all of them, but when Eve be fine, Eve be fine. Okay, but the problem with Eve is that she is crazy. Okay, that be Eve problem, bro. It's not that she's ugly, or whatever. No, Eve be fine as hell. From my experience, okay, Eve be fine as hell from my experience. Brothers got different opinions about Eve. It's some booger bears out there. Okay, it is some booger bears, some gargoyles, right? Out there. Don't get me wrong. Big Shirley and them. This is terrible. But when Eve is fine, bro, Eve be fine as hell. But the turnoff be Eve attitude and her spirit. Okay, and the ones who be fine, they be the worst. But even the Eves who are not as appealing, to the eyes, they be proud too, man. Like what the hell? You're 350 pounds, and you talking like you just this fine, dime piece. You're not. But it's crazy, man. And this is why amongst our so-called community, it's bad. Okay, it is bad, man. But this pride, this arrogance is going to lead to a lot of women being destroyed, okay, in the times to come. It's sad, but it's the truth, It's the truth, man. So, here we go.
Always be, well, never mind, I'm just going to be single. I'm just going to be...
I don't think men like women anymore.
That's a lie. That is a lie. Men do like women. But see, the thing is this. You like a man that don't like you. That's the issue. Man that you like, he don't like you. So therefore, all men, men don't like women no more. They don't like women. No. You're trying to pursue a man that's out of your league. And when you can't get him, now all men are just trash and they don't want to approach us no more. Brother, it's the same word salad from these women, bro. These women don't like every man. It's a particular man that they like. And if they can't have him, then all men are trash. That's the truth of the matter, bro. All these videos you see online of women complaining about men and men don't approach us anymore. No, the man that you like don't want you. And you're having a hard time accepting that. A very hard time. I'm sure men approach you women all the time. Okay? Excuse me. I'm sure they approach you all the time. It happens. All in your DMs, whether you're on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. Men approach you. They say, hey, But what it is that you don't like them. Okay? It's actually one particular man that you like that's out of your league. You want him, but he don't want you. And you're having a hard time accepting that. That's all it is. So stop telling these lies like men don't want y'all. No. You're mad at the man that you want don't want your ass. Here we go.
I don't think that men desire us women anymore, us real women. I don't think that they value us like they used to. Men aren't really putting out effort. They're not putting out any type of effort like they used to. Taking a girl on a date becomes an issue. spending money on a woman is an issue. You should have your own money as a woman. Going out to do something fun is an issue. Why don't you just come over to the house and we could do something in the house? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, but I see women all over the globe complain about what's happening with men nowadays. So the question is,
as Dave Chappelle said, chivalry is dead and women killed it. Okay? You women for years have bashed men publicly. Okay? On the internet, out in public, you bash men. You talk down on them. And now men are fed up. They're tired. They're tired, man. What's the point of me coming up to you, talking to you? So Jake made this point on the internet. He said, so you mean to tell me that I have to pursue you just to take you out, right, to dinner, and then hope that you like me so I can continue to keep taking you out and buying you shit? While you're really pursuing the guy that you like. You really don't like me like that, but you'll go on a date and eat my food. But the guy that you really want, you wait on him to just, send you a text message so that you can just hop up and, oh my God, I can't believe you sent me a text. That's how I go down, man. It's crazy, but this is where we at, man. And that Eve, Eve look decent, that's a decent sister right there, right? But why she having a problem with dating? Just as the other woman. No, it's like you. She just can't find. Look, the man that she don't want her, bro. That's all it is. Once a nigga that she like say yes, she'll make another video talking about how great men are. Oh, men say so love. I just love my boyfriend and men, and full of shit, man. These people are full of shit. Here we go. Then I'll move on to my next video.
What's happening with men nowadays? So the question is, why are there so many single people who are not interested in dating? And ladies, we got these men shook because all they hear is how much money they should be spending on these dates. So look, if you got a $300 minimum that you feel like a man should be spending on a date, and the man take out 2 women in 1 week with that same mentality, that's $600 that he spent on dates with women that he don't even know that he like yet. And understand that a rich man will spend the money because he'll spend as much as necessary to get what it is that he wants from you because he got it. So our focus should be, is he a protector? Is he a provider? How does he treat his kids? How do he treat his mama? It's so many other things that we could be focused on. Now, there is a caveat. Men, if you broke, you shouldn't be dating. Let's just start there. Women, same thing. If you broke, you shouldn't be dating. Get your life together first. So if you built a lifestyle and you are able to afford a lifestyle of your own, I am not saying go get you a man and find you a man who is broke, but the focus should not be how much he can spend on dates. The focus should be everything that has to do everything with his personality and how he treats you. What y'all think about that?
If a man ever tell me it's giving wifey material, I'm going to go ahead and clock out because clearly I've done something wrong. Because what they really mean by that is it's giving slave.
Women are actually...
Right. You see that? See this? This mentality, man. This mentality is why Eve is the least married. This is why, man. She think being a wife is slavery. Who taught Eve that, man? Who taught you that, Eve? That being a wife is slavery. That, you cooking and cleaning and supporting your husband and your children is slavery. This is a sickness, man. The Most High, He made Eve to be a helpmeet unto Adam. Okay? Let's go to it here, man. Genesis 2. Genesis 2, right? In 18, it says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. Okay? Now, you go into the word here. All right. Help me, right? The word is Izar. Okay, H5828, Izar. All right. And it says here, help secure, one who helps, aid, help, right? It's your duty to help out the man, okay, to support him, right? That's not slavery. It's called building a family. It's called duty, okay? These modern women are running from duty, man, from responsibility, all right? Their part in the marriage. This is a sickness, man. And this is why I am single, bro. I don't feel like it, man. Okay? As much as I do want to get me a woman, okay? I want one bad, but it's like, man, I just know, bro. I can damn near just foresee it, man. Okay, not want to speak nothing bad on my life or like into me, no bad woman into my life, but it's like, bro, I just know. Well, she been around the block a few times, man. Dylan, bro. I'm a young man, bro. But I've been around the block, and I don't know. I just get tired, man. I'm like, I don't feel like it, bro. I don't feel like it. But like I said, though, I might start back dating soon, man. But I don't know, man. You push it back a little, right? I might have to push it back from June. I might have to push it to October, man. I don't know, man. Y'all women something else, man. Y'all scare me, okay? Them women be scaring me, man. I don't know. And do a brother bad. I just don't feel like it, man. And I've been on a good streak, gym and my health, reading, trying to get myself together, man. And I just know once I start back dealing, that they're gonna slow down because shorties be wanting your attention, man. Shorties be wanting your time, bro. They want to go to Top Golf. They want to go to this place, that place, downtown, to the Rockets game, right? Which ain't no wrong with having a good time with your girl, but once they get a taste of it, bro, they want to do it all the time. Oh, come on, let's go. I don't feel like it. They want to have your weekends. They want them, And then especially, bro, if you're dealing with a woman who don't understand this truth, she's in the world. She don't honor the Sabbath day. Okay, so when the Sabbath comes in on the weekend, she expects her weekend to continue like they've always been. Okay, with her previous man. Go out and do this and, have sex. No. I'm not going to have sex on the Sabbath day. Okay? They don't understand that. They never understand that. Okay? I never had one woman to understand, hey, it's the Sabbath, so I'm not going to do nothing tonight, but tomorrow evening, we can make something happen. Shorties don't understand that. The who? The what, boy? Boy, I ain't want to hear that, boy. You better come on. They're crazy. So it's hard, man. It's hard. But then, you want to deal with the Israelite sister, that's a gamble, Cause shorties be tripping, bro. No matter, bro. No matter, bro. Shorties be tripping all over, bro. But you would think that you'll have a better chance with a sister who actually in the faith and who understands. But it never works out all the time like that. But that would be ideal, But some brothers do got, women who are in the world who respects, their beliefs and, allow them to keep the Sabbath, well, not allow them, but like they will honor their brother word of, hey, look, I keep the Sabbath day, so I ain't gonna do nothing on this day, right? But that's hard to find, but the Lord, he'll bless you, man. If it be his will, he'll bless you with a decent woman. But boy, that ain't the case all the time, okay? Because I'm, oh my goodness, don't get me started, man. But here we go, okay? Listen to the woman. Here we go.
Everything with his personality and how he treats you. What y'all think about that?
If a man ever tell me it's giving wifey material, I'm going to go ahead and clock out because clearly I've done something wrong. Because what they really mean by that is it's giving slave.
Women are actually using brands to determine whether a man is fit to be their mate. And so we're going into a situation now where if you're not taking me to a fancy restaurant, if you're not wearing this clothes or that clothes, you can't have a conversation with me. We can't even get to first base. And that goes to show how programmed, how brainwashed we are, where we are no longer looking beyond the flesh and looking into the person's spirit.
And devalued.
We're looking at the external trappings. We're going to be in problems because what's happening, the only people that are winning are the big brands, the big corporate.
Right. She's right. And that's mainly amongst Eve, man. From my experience of dating, the only women who have ever judged me based off clothes and shoes is Eve. I never got there from the Latino woman. I never got there from an Edomite woman or an Asian woman. Every time when it came to the outward appearance, your clothing, your shoes, it's Eve, bro. What kind of shoes you have on? What kind of jeans you got on? What kind of shirt? Your haircut. Do you have a lineup? Right? Eve check all that. And she determined a man's a stature or whatever by his clothes. But anybody can put on, well, I won't say just anybody, but people can dress up. But as she was going into, that don't make them a good person. Okay? But then you wonder why Jake be beating you across your head with his pistol, unaliving you. But you chose him based off his clothes, not his integrity, right? Not his spirit. You chose him because of his shoes and his clothes. And this nigga was on the spectrum, right? He was on the spectrum, crazy, on medication. But his shoes and his clothes drew you in. Now the nigga beating on you. And now you're on Facebook crying, showing pictures of your eye. Talking about niggas ain't ish, right? I can't believe he did that. What you mean? You thought he was a great man because of his shoes, okay? And his clothes and what he drive. That's not manhood. But that's a sickness amongst the tribes, man. Well, I wouldn't say amongst the tribes. Bro, that's amongst Eve, bro. From my experience. They judge you off your clothes. Your spirit don't matter, how you treat them don't matter. What kind of clothes you got on, nigga? What kind of car you drive, nigga? Give me some money, nigga. That's it, bro. The bar is set low amongst our women. Here we go. I'm playing a little bit more, then I'm gonna move on, man.
Operations.
It was this guy at the movies today by himself. And I remember when I used to see people, I used to be like, dang, they must be lonely, lame, you know, this weird kind of thinking. Until I started hanging out by myself every Tuesday for 2 years straight. That takes a lot of confidence. You just totally fulfill when you don't have to hang with other people just to go out and do something. You're just at peace. And people also treat you really nice at places. Like when you go out to eat, sometimes you get free stuff when you sit by yourself. You hear people conversations. More people want to talk to you. When I started going out by myself, it just gave me a total different outlook on it.
Why is it that when I meet older women that are in their 50s and 60s and I ask them, what's the secret recipe for you staying young? And each and every time they tell me it's being single, avoiding a man. And then it started to make sense. I was just in the mirror a second ago looking at myself and I said, girl, now where did that blemish come from? Where did that wrinkle come from? Because it wasn't there 3 weeks ago before you started entertaining a man. Hello?
You're right. Just blame the man, you know. It's the man's fault that you got a wrinkle, you know. It's his fault that, you know, you got a blemish because he's stretching you out, right? Oh, my goodness, bro. This shit fucked up, man. Blame man for everything, you know. They never take accountability. Maybe you got that blemish from eating too many damn sweets and cakes and shit, right? And seafood boils. How about that? It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, I might just push it back a little longer, bro, because I just don't feel like it, you know, bro. Like, bro, out here in Houston, Texas, bro. I'm just tell you, bro. In Houston, bro, it is so many beautiful women in this city. Out in Katy, out in Cypress, out in Pasadena. Everywhere you go, it's beautiful women available. But when you talk to these hoes, and I do mean hoes, when you talk to them, bro, you see like, oh my, you know what? Okay. Don't even waste your time. But see, some men get caught up just on the beauty of a woman. I've been there before, bro. When I despise her personality, I despise, you know, her spirit, you know, seeing that she was a terrible person because she looked good, you know, she had the breasts, you know, beautiful face, you know, beautiful smile, you know, she stacked right. And in the flesh, you're like, okay, I just want her, you know, in the flesh, but it's like, this bitch kind of crazy. I think I can handle it. I think I can maintain it. Is a deal. Then you start dealing with her, and then you start to lose yourself. You start to break some of your standards, and ultimately, you become her bitch. Ultimately, because you're not you anymore. You're doing what she said. You're bending corners trying to please her, right? And that shouldn't be as a man. No man should bend to the will of his woman, bro. Of a woman, period. Okay? You should stand on your standards as a man, bro. Especially if you're in the truth, bro. But some men get overtaken by that, even in the truth, you know. Some men have left the truth for a woman. It's crazy, but it happens. That woman got power. Okay, she has power, man. But she's not stronger than the truth. That's in the book of 1 Ezra, the 4th chapter, man. You got to stand on the truth. That's the only how you're going to overcome them, bro. Because I know that I could have been taken by plenty of women, okay? I'm talking about taken. But the Most High spared me, bro. Had mercy. Get me out of crazy situations, man. Here we go.
There's one complaint that men have with women, and this is one complaint that I actually really agree with. And that is women lack humility. Not only do women suck at taking accountability, they suck at showing you how sorry they are. But the funny thing is, if roles are reversed, they want you to beg and plead, wine and dine, do whatever it takes to show how sorry you are. But when it comes to them, even apologizing more than once is too close to begging. And the reason I agree with men is because I see this in friendships with women. Women will do the nastiest things to you and then turn around and tell you that they're protecting their peace. Or then tell you, I don't want people ganging up on me. I don't think I'm such a bad person. No, we don't think that either. But we think you're wrong. We think that you should show some humility and prove that you're sorry. But no.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Close to begging.
Controversial opinion. Talk money if he talks intimacy at any point in time during your date or relationship, and I'm going to get into why. First off, disclaimer, I don't give a rat's ass any longer about someone saying, well, that sounds like, well, that's funny, because let's break.
You see this? You see this? This is an old hoe. You see that? Right, Ram put it up there, 0304 alert. Yeah, this is an old hoe who been giving young women terrible advice. It's a lot of these old women out here who are just terrible, okay? Pushing 60, you know? Terrible. I'm gonna move on to my next clip. I got time for this shit, man. Here we go, bro. This is from the judge, and he's interviewing Douglas McGregory. Will U.S. attack Iran? Question. Eventually they will. And when they do, we're talking about global war. Okay? Global world war. It's going to happen. So let's play a little bit of this interview here. And I grab my precept and close out, man. Here we go.
th 2025. Colonel Douglas McGregor joins us now. Colonel, and those of you listening, excuse my froggy voice. These things happen from time to time. Thank you for your time, Colonel. Colonel, what military advantage was there or is there to bombing the Houthis over the weekend?
You know, it's difficult to calculate that. This has been a pretty unrewarding activity. And you would think after all the years of having bombed these people in Yemen, someone would have concluded that unless you go in on the ground, you're probably not going to disrupt them. And what we've seen is after every series of strikes over many, many years, you recall we were also bombing them on behalf of Saudi Arabia at one point. After the strikes are over, they resurface and launch missiles. And their entire focus is, of course, to punish U.S. and Israeli shipping that has connection to the war in the Middle East. And it's very straightforward. They've said, until you stop killing Palestinians, we're going to continue to shoot at you.
Are they actually interfering with American ships, not naval ships, but commercial transportation?
Well, if they can identify the ship as flagged American, yes, they've taken shots at it. I think the most important thing to realize is if you're Lloyd's of London and you're in the business of insuring ships, you don't want people moving through the Red Sea or the Suez Canal at this point.
I saw a 3-star, I'm not even sure which branch, speaking alongside the new spokesperson.
It's like it, man. My computer about to die, and I'm nowhere near my charger, man. But ultimately, in this clip, you know, he speaks about different scenarios between, you know, the U.S. and the small hats and, you know, Iran and Putin, and how pretty much what could lead up, you know, to a U.S. attack on Iran, and how it will lead to a global war. And this is what the Bible speaks about, but these people don't understand that, okay? And Trump is a maniac. He's bought and paid for. He will do what the small hats say to do. Okay, so this is a beautiful thing. I'm ready to close out. Let me get this precept here in Zephaniah, man. Slakia, bro. I'm nowhere near my charger, bro. I don't even know where it's at right now. Zephaniah 3:8, it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." So it's the Most High's determination, man, to get this thing kicked off. Okay, and that's where heavy judgment going to go out over there in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's when Yahweh Shai and the angels going to come back, and it's going to get busy. All right, so you can get done watching this video, man. You know, all of it is good. Okay, it's good. You know, just some information on the Middle East. But I pray this lesson was edifying. All right, push it back a little longer. Right, yeah, man. Yeah. Y'all be playing games. I ain't got time. Put it out. This is a video, man. It's crazy, but you know, whatever, man. I pray it was edifying. All praise Yahweh, Shema Shai, Shem Chakadash. The runners unto the apostle, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.